We all deal with these huge, powerful forces in our lives, right? But what if the most dangerous one isn't actually out there in the world, but it's inside of us? Today, we're diving deep into how to understand and master our most challenging internal enemy, anger.
And this piece of ancient wisdom, wow, it just sets the stage perfectly. It's this powerful reminder that our biggest, most important battles aren't fought on some physical battlefield. Nope. They're happening right inside our own minds. It's this constant, ongoing struggle for self-mastery.
And in that war inside us, there's one enemy that can do more damage than any other if we let it run wild. And as our source material makes crystal clear, that enemy is anger.
Okay, so if we're going to win this war, we have to understand our opponent first. It's time to take a hard look at the true destructive power of anger, and maybe more importantly, how fast it can undo everything we've ever worked for. Just think about this for a second. Imagine all the effort, the discipline, the kindness, all the progress you can build over 10 long years. You're talking about relationships, careers, your reputation, all of it, built so carefully, piece by piece. In all of that, 10 years of work can be absolutely demolished in one single, unguarded moment of rage. That is the terrifying power of anger. It doesn't just chip away at your progress. It's like a bomb that detonates it, leaving nothing but ruin behind.
I love this metaphor because it's just so perfect, right? Once that single drop of black ink hits a glass of pure white milk, you can't take it back out. The whole thing is forever changed. Well, giving into anger, it works the exact same way. And here's the other thing to remember. The energy we put out into the world, it has this funny way of coming right back to us. Our source calls life a game of boomerangs. That means all the anger, the harsh words, the actions we throw out there, they're going to circle back and find us with some pretty amazing accuracy. So, if anger is this destructive, what's feeding it? Where does it get its power? Well, that brings us right to our next section. Anger is fuel, the ego.
The source gives us this really powerful acronym for ego, edging God out. Now, let's not get stuck on the word God in a religious sense. Think of it more as a metaphor for, a universal connection or our higher self. The ego is that part of us that edges out that connection. It creates this sense of separation. It's me versus you, my stuff versus your stuff. And this illusion, this feeling of being separate from everyone and everything, that's the very thing that fuels conflict and ultimately anger. You see, this is where the ego gets tricky. It often shows up looking like arrogance, which we mistake for strength, but that's just a cover, a mask. The reality is, arrogance is a sign of weakness. It's hiding a deep sense of inferiority. Real, unshakable strength, that's found in humility.
So, how do we fight back against this? How do we disarm the ego and starve the anger? Well, that's what this next part is all about. We're talking about the power of detachment.
I mean, really think about it. What makes you angry? It's almost always connected to something you're attached to, right? Your stuff, your reputation, your idea of how things are supposed to be. We get angry because we feel like something we own is being threatened. But here's the tough truth. We don't really own anything. Everything in our lives is just passing through. And this leads to a huge distinction. There are really two kinds of anger. When we're attached, we become anger's little tool. It controls us, becoming this weapon of destruction that leads to vengeance and hatred. But when we're detached, the roles completely flip. Anger becomes our tool. We can transform it into a focused passion that actually creates impact and drives positive action. Okay, so detachment is the goal, but how in the world do we actually get there, especially in the heat of the moment? That's where we're going next. Let's talk about the way of silence.
So, the next time you feel that flash of anger rising up, the instructions are super clear. Don't react. Just don't. Instead, the first step is to retreat into silence. That creates this crucial pause, and in that pause, you analyze. You ask yourself, why am I really angry about this? This whole process of questioning yourself moves you out of the ignorance of a blind reaction and into the knowledge of self-awareness. And in that shift, the ego starts to lose its grip. This is such a beautiful metaphor to visualize the difference between the ego and humility. You have the barren tree, right? It's got nothing to offer, so it just stands there, tall and proud, empty. That's arrogance. But then you have the fruitful tree, heavy with value, with substance, and it actually bends low.
It's just a powerful reminder that real worth and strength are found in modesty, not in puffing out your chest.
All right, let's bring this all together in our final section, because the goal here is a bit different than you might think. We're talking about an anger that's tamed, not destroyed.
Okay, this is a really, really important point. Trying to control your anger is like trying to wrestle a wild animal. It is exhausting, and sooner or later you're going to get bitten. Detachment, on the other hand, is like stepping outside of the cage entirely. It gives you the breathing room to just observe the anger without getting consumed by it. And from that space, you can actually decide how you want to act. And what's the end game here? What's the payoff for all this work? You gain this incredible ability to perform a kind of emotional alchemy. You can take that raw, malicious energy of anger, the kind that leads to hatred and revenge, and you can redirect it. You literally transform it into a powerful, focused passion that can drive you to achieve incredible things. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Anger is like a sword. It's an incredibly powerful tool, and yeah, it can be really dangerous. But just because you're given a sword doesn't mean you have to swing it at everything that moves. The ultimate sign of mastery is knowing you have that power, but having the wisdom and detachment to choose when and if you ever use it.